Okay. I did my video project on pregnant women and their dietary needs. When you're pregnant, there are a lot of foods that you can't eat or that you should avoid, and there are some foods that you probably wouldn't eat that you should eat while pregnant, just because you're growing human and all. So, as a pregnant woman, you only need to consume about 300 extra calories per day, which is a lot of people don't actually realize this. They think that when you're pregnant, you should eat for two whole people because you have a whole nother person inside of you, and that's not necessarily the case because of how small the unborn child is. They don't need that many calories, and sometimes pregnant women will gain a lot of weight, like 50, 75 pounds, and you really shouldn't gain that much weight while pregnant. Like the maximum amount's like 35 pounds, which also plays into the myth that you're eating for two when people gain that much weight. So you only actually need about 300 extra calories per day while pregnant. They should come from a balanced diet of fruits and vegetables, grains, protein, and very little sugar and sweets while pregnant. By eating a balanced diet, you provide your child a healthy diet and provide them a healthy environment to live in while they are forming. A healthy diet can also decrease the symptoms of pregnancy that some people get, like morning sickness, nausea, constipation, just GI upset. Those symptoms can be decreased if you eat a more balanced diet. When you're pregnant, you should drink a lot of water, as much as you possibly can, just to stay hydrated, especially if you're like throwing up a lot, just because when you throw up, you throw up everything that you've eaten and drank. So you don't want to get dehydrated while pregnant. The daily recommended intake is 8 to 10 cups, but it's really just as much as you can drink. More importantly, there are more drinks that you shouldn't have while pregnant. These include caffeine. Some people have caffeine while pregnant. It's just not recommended. Also, certain types of like sweeteners and stuff, like added sugar and sweeteners in your coffee and things like that, you should probably avoid. And soda, because it has both added sweeteners and caffeine. But the most important fluid that you should avoid while pregnant is alcohol, because that can cause fetal abnormalities. That can actually result in fetal alcohol syndrome, and that's just basically what, if you drink while you're pregnant, your child has a chance of getting fetal alcohol syndrome, and that can cause facial deformities, that can cause cognitive impairment, and in severe cases, some children will need care for the rest of their lives if they have fetal alcohol syndrome. So to avoid that, just don't drink while you're pregnant. Certain doctors will say a little bit of like red wine is okay, and if your doctor says that, that's totally okay, but other than that, avoid all alcohol. There are some foods that should be consumed during pregnancy. Lots of fruits and vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, and tomatoes. Fruits like watermelon, cantaloupe, strawberries, bananas, prunes. Those prunes are especially good for people who are constipated or have trouble going to the restroom, just because it kind of helps everything move along more smoothly. And if you're also constipated during pregnancy, fiber, increase your fiber and fluid intake, and that will help to get your bowels to move smoother. Certain dairy products are okay for pregnant women, like low-fat yogurt, low-fat milk, skim milk. We don't want anything with a super high fat content in it with your dairy products. And soy milk, as well as coconut milk, is good for pregnant women. Grains should be like breads and stuff like that. You want to make sure that they're all healthy for the baby. So you want to go with whole grains and cooked cereals and ready to eat cereals. Don't get any type of uncooked cereal. For protein or meat, you should focus on lean meats. Beans, peas, sardines. Sardines aren't very good, but they are very good for you while you're pregnant. So but also some meal ideas for pregnant women include like kale salad, beef stew with vegetables, rotini with chicken and garden vegetables, salmon with broccoli, grilled chicken, whole grain pasta, things like that. Just a overall healthier diet while you're pregnant. There are foods that should definitely be avoided during pregnancy because they can cause health conditions for you or your unborn child. Unpasteurized milks and cheeses can contain certain bacteria that is harmful. Lunch meat and then raw or undercooked eggs or meat also can pose a risk. Raw sushi, that's another one, because if you're going to eat sushi, make sure it's at least cooked and not raw, because you can get food poisoning or another bacteria. Lunch meat, which I guess a lot of people didn't know this, but you should avoid lunch meat while pregnant. Refrigerated meat spreads, and refrigerated smoked seafoods. Don't eat any seafood if you didn't cook it yourself, because you want to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. Overall, during pregnancy, the most important part is to just eat a healthy diet and avoid alcohol and things that can harm your child while pregnant, like the unpasteurized milks and cheeses. This will promote a healthy pregnancy, and it will probably make you feel a little bit better than you would if you would eat just unhealthy foods. I included a handout with this presentation that has all of my information written down on it about foods to avoid, foods to eat, and all that other stuff. And my site, my references are Johns Hopkins, and then I think just Johns Hopkins, and that's it. Alrighty, thank you.